So anyone that has an OEX Bobcat, but I've experienced this with other OEX tents in the range, because I used to work and go outdoors and had to put up tents and take down tents all the time. But I have an OEX Bobcat, and I know other people put up videos about this, but essentially when you're pitching a tent, the tent pole is being made just long enough that it makes it really difficult. It's not undoable, and there are knacks to getting it in without having to cut the pole, but I've experienced where I've done a long hike, I'm knackered, it's dark, I'm trying to put a tent up in boggy conditions that aren't ideal, and having a tent pole that goes in easily as opposed to a tent pole that takes a certain knack or time and effort and energy that I may not have just isn't going to work. So here is how I found a way of cutting the pole. I got this in B&Q for I think about £5.50 or £5.99 or somewhere in between. Now I did get what I thought was a pipe cutter, but I think it was designed for plastic pipes for plumbers. I think this cut through a pole that I tested this on so easily and so quickly. It's just going to allow me to do lots of other tent projects that require cutting tent poles. So just be aware of that it exists, and if you don't own saws or not good with saws or know nothing about saws, then this will make life a lot easier for you. Let's do this Bobcat pole. So the first thing to be noted is, which I like actually, is this OEX pole tip. It's not just pulled off or with pliers or whatever else, it's actually screwed, it's threaded. So actually by twisting it, frees it up. Just a little dimple there, which allows that to thread down. So I've marked out 2 centimeters, or slightly short off. I actually just don't want to overshoot it and make it too loose. So slightly under 2 centimeters. And I'll use this tool to cut that. It'll cut around it so it won't actually cut the bungee. And you just slot that on and then turn the wheel to tighten it. And then twist. And I don't know if there's an official right way to do this, but essentially I would twist it, tighten, yeah, and I can hear it now cutting. Yep, pop goes the weasel. Loosen that off. You can see there's a really nice clean cut around there. Hasn't touched the bungee. So all I need to do is now remove this bit. And the last time I did this with a little trial piece, I used a drill with a diamond cutting disc on it. Very cheap. Another little tip or thing that I use anyway, these little like sandwich bag clips, whatever, food bag clips. I just use these just to lock off the bungee. So I'm not a DIY king, and I've ended up going through the bungee, but I did cut through that, and I can just pry that off with a pair of pliers. But yeah, I'm not gonna have to replace the bungee, but that'll be another lesson learned and skill to acquire. There we go. That's been cut. If you do it with a wee bit more skill or care, probably you could do it without cutting the bungee. In my experimental piece that didn't happen, so